asking an obvious question that I think all of you should run down and ask, which is, in building a successful New York internet company, whether it's New York or not, what's your number one piece of advice? Let's do actually a quick, raise your hand if you work for one of these companies. Okay, we got maybe 15%. Raise your hand if you work for a company, like a bigger company, a big company, a big-ish company. Okay, and how many don't work at all? Okay, and lastly, how many are part of a startup? All right, there we go. So with that, what's your 10 to 20 second piece of top advice for these guys at startups?
I'd say who you go in business with, the team is most important. I'd say New York is great because there's lots of customers here, so I like to start with the customer, and I think you have a big advantage in New York doing that.
I'd say find a space you can live in for a little while, get used to what one another smells like in the summertime especially, and just hold on, and if you got a lot on your mind, look in the right direction for the car that can take you out, because if you do get hit by a bus, it's hard to replace you at that stage.
My advice would be to get going. So many times I meet entrepreneurs who have some idea, they have a PowerPoint, they want to, should I go talk to the VCs, should I get a patent first, should I accept an award for my business plan? And it's, no, you should get it up and live and running and get real customers that use it and then send you angry emails or happy emails or any type of email, any type of communication whatsoever, so that you then learn something so you can make your product or service even better.
I'm going to agree with everything that's been said so far and add to the list focus. I think it's trying to figure out what you're doing, do it well, and try not to get distracted, because there's always more things that you could be doing, other partners you could be working with, people who are going to be coming at you and trying to give you opportunities in other directions. And I would say try to focus and do what you do, primarily do it very well.
I would say have a vision and stick to your guns. But more importantly, launch, iterate, launch, iterate, launch, iterate.
I think a lot of people overlook success just dressed up in overalls and looks like work. Thomas Edison said that, so you just heads down and work, and you don't even notice you're leaving the city at that point, so you just stay inside all day.
I think there's lots of ways to make a successful company, and a lot of it has to do with who you are and what you enjoy doing and what you're good at. And I think that, oftentimes when people give advice about what you should do, it's like what worked for them, but it might not necessarily work for you. So having some flexibility and having knowledge of yourself and what your strengths are and your weaknesses are, I think is pretty important.
Just to echo what Jonah said, to actually leave behind conventional rules and try to really, I think we're all trying to solve very similar problems, try to solve a problem differently, and take away everything that is convention and everything that you learn about how you might want to attack and solve that problem, and start from zero and start that.
I think Calvin made a good point about focus. I apparently didn't get that memo. So I think it's a good point. No, I feel that New York's the best city, I think, to launch a company. There are people, real estate costs don't matter. If you look around and realize there's hundreds and hundreds of successful companies, it's just, I agree, we just got to go do it. There's everything we need here, and digital media could not be a better space right now. There are big pockets. When the ladder started, people told them, look, it's already launched there. That's classic, not getting the fact that you can carve out a market that people didn't realize exists. Now it's like, oh, it's obvious. It wasn't obvious. They did a great job.
Kevin, let me ask you to expand on a part of what you just said, which is the difference between now and before. There's a guy in the back who is one of the founding fathers of the New York internet world, Seth Goldstein, who you invited me and I to your apartment to ask us about this little company called DoubleClick, what we thought of it. That was forever ago. Seth, by the way, has ditched New York City. Or, the Bay Area is playing with some Facebook apps. Actually, he's making the world's largest network of the largest social advertising network. But anyway, we don't like the fact that Seth left New York. What's happened between now and then for building a great internet company?
Yeah, the three of us sat down in 1995 to talk about the internet in New York, starting companies, all that. So a lot has obviously happened in the meantime. It's been great. What changed fundamentally is at the time, for example, in '96, going out to raise money, it was almost impossible to find VCs. I couldn't find a lawyer in '97, and there are a lot of lawyers in New York. I couldn't find a lawyer who had taken the company public. The other thing is that when I was presenting at Meetup maybe a year ago, one of the companies, we did a poll, and probably half of the room, 2/3 of the room had already worked at an internet company before the one they're at right now. When in '96, '97, we didn't have a single person that we hired that in a way had what you'd call relevant skills, because no one had worked in this space before. So, this group is so much more sophisticated, so much more skilled, knowledgeable. There's money, there's infrastructure, there's real estate, customers. Even at the height of the internet, there was only $3 billion worth of advertising spend. This year, an additional $3 to $4 billion is going to be added just in the year alone. So, it's all good. It's all good.
Okay.